So,
Okay.
all right, no more talking. And good luck, Vani.
Thank you.
All right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Speedrun Ragnarok 2023, the one and only. My name is Code Indigo. We are here for the Witching Hour. We're going to be watching some costume quests. We're going to be doing a glitchless run with Vanny Van. Give us a little hi.
Hello, everyone. I am Vani, and you've probably seen me do this before, as recently as RPG Limit Break. We are going to be doing costume quest. This is going to be glitchless percent. I'll talk about the difference between this and any percent throughout the run because there have been some recent developments, shall we say. But we will go ahead and get started. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and start a new game here, and I will let you know when to start the timer. But we're going to go ahead and do this, and you'll see why this game is being run at this time that it is now, because in this game it is Halloween night, much as it is still here in the United States. All these kids are running around, their costumes are very cute. They're looking for candy, they're looking for mayhem, and these two kids in this house are hanging out with their parents for now. They've just moved into this neighborhood. They're new here. And the mom is imploring her twin children, that's Reynold on the left and Ren on the right, to go out on Halloween and make some new friends. And the kids are like, nah, we're just going to go out and get candy and just be spooky and have fun. And the mom's like, well, no, you've got each other. You're each other's best friends. And they're like, no, we're not. And you have to stick together. And dad says, or else you're grounded, which is very true. One of my favorite parts here, he's a big one because he was born 10 ounces heavier. She says he's 10 ounces dumber. He says she's 10 pounds uglier. We never find out what he's 10 tons of because dad says no fighting. And the fighting ends. Now, here comes the first real control of the game, and Code Indigo, I'm going to need your help on this. We had a bid war for which character we were going to be using here. Will I be using Reynold, the boy, or will I be using Ren, the girl?
You are using Ren.
All right. That's a great choice because, as you can see there, and you'll see it more prominently later on in the game, Ren has a really cute barrette in her hair that's shaped like a smiling bat, and it's awesome. Excellent choice, chat. Okay, I'm going to choose Ren here. There's going to be a couple of dialogue boxes, and then when this cutscene fades to black, that is when the timer will start. So whoever's operating that, get ready, because we're going to choose Ren. Ren's in charge. She's very happy about this. Reynold is aghast. We're going to get started now. Okay, we'll skip this cutscene. We go trick-or-treating here first. That's not very eventful. We're going to get rid of this dialogue. And then I'm going to skip a whole bunch of stuff happening here, and I'll try to explain it as we go along. But first, we have a battle tutorial. Now, there's a couple things going on here. First, it's going to teach you how to do regular attacks and crits. We're not interested in that right now, because for the battle tutorial, we don't need it. In fact, it's faster to miss the crits. Now, we want to block attacks, because it's faster to block than it is to get hit. So we'll block that. Oh, no, we won't, actually, because I pressed the wrong button. All right, now we get to use our special power. And this is why we don't need to do critical hits, because 2 crits, 2 misses, whatever. That paired with the rockets means that it's death for this guy. Okay, so you'll notice we don't have that sweet robot costume on anymore. We're going to change that in a minute. And we're going to do so by walking around here and opening up these coffins, which are essentially treasure chests. And in these 3 treasure chests are going to be the 3 parts to our robot costume. You'll notice that throughout the game, every costume has 3 parts to it, but in addition to that, you need a pattern that brings them all together. We don't need it for the robot costume, but for all the future costumes, we will. And now we have robot again, which means we have rocket skates, and we get to move really fast. As you might guess, the robot costume is extremely useful for the speedrun for this very reason. And in fact, we have to put the rocket skates to test in this next little kind of like mini game here, where we need to skate around the block before Travis, the bully, can catch up to us on his skateboard. If he does, you got to go back and try again, and just keep going until you get it. But we're way ahead of Travis. We do this cutscene here. All right. Everett, the kid that he was picking on, is now in our party. We get to switch to his Sweep Knight costume just to do a little mini quest and switch back to the robot because we gotta go fast. Now, in each section of the game, of which there are 3, we have to do trick-or-treating at every place. Now, some of these trick-or-treats are going to have encounters or monsters that we're going to fight. And this is one of them. The houses or trick-or-treat sites that have monsters or candy, like they normally would, are fixed. Not only is it fixed which is where, but the enemy formations in each of them are fixed as well. So I knew I was going to get these two grubbins here. So, all right. Now, after every 3rd turn, your quote-unquote meter builds up, and you get to use this super. For the robot, it's these missiles that fires out of its chest. And what that does is damage to all enemies, and then at the end of the turn, the fire on which the enemies are lit does a little extra damage as well. So we will use this pretty much as often as possible. This house and the next 2 that I'm going to go to are trick-or-treat houses, where you see in the bottom left corner, we've got that candy meter. Candy is the money of this game. We're going to use it to buy some things a little later on. So the fact that we are essentially stocking up on cash is good. We're required to do it anyway, but the fact that we get money that we're going to need is kind of convenient. All right. Now, in this battle here, you see there's the grubbin in the white robe. These are healers. We're going to see them throughout the game. They're the ones that are wearing white robes, hoods, whatever it is. Healers need to be eliminated Oh, jeez. That was not good. Healers need to be eliminated ASAP because they can really, really prolong battles, and we don't want that. So we are taking this out ASAP. Please do not attack Ren. Naturally. And the fire is going to kill her. Okay, this is going to be interesting. I might lose this fight. If I do, I just have to do it over. It's not a big deal. This is going to be close. That power-up means that I'm toast. Unless I can somehow kill here, which I don't. And I am... Yep, I'm dead. Okay. I'm going to do this battle over. So, the mages there can be very dangerous, too, because they can use an attack buff. They can use it on any party member. It can be themselves. It can be someone else. Especially if they use it on themselves, they're already strong enough. It can do some really devastating damage. So let's make sure we block that in case we get hit again. Okay, let's please kill this healer here. Oh, let's get it close. Oh, good, we got it. Okay, phew. That is really helpful. Okay. We should be fine now because we have rockets. Bam. Let's see. Even if Ren dies on this next attack, Everett will easily clean him up.
We have a moment for a donation.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
We have $20 from Aksani from about 20 minutes ago. Good luck to the rest of the runners throughout the marathon, and thank you for having me on the commentary booth this evening.
Very good.
That's what we got.
Let's do this real quick. And then let's do this. All right, so here's another battle. We're going to level up at the end of this battle. The experience routing in this game is kind of particular. Later on, we're going to have an opportunity to skip some battles, and we will do that strategically so that we can level up at just the right times, especially for the end game. All right, so I'm going to deliberately not do a crit there because it's faster to just mash X as opposed to waiting for whichever button comes up, which, by the way, is random. The buttons that you need to press for whatever crits, blocks, and whatnot, there is no pattern to it, at least none that we've been able to discern. So if you want to do crits properly, you have to wait for him to appear on screen. don't think I need a crit there. I did, actually. Okay, I definitely don't need a crit here. With 1 HP. We're good. All right. So now, oh, whoops. Now is when I want to go back here and talk to this guy, who says, if you want to get into this party, you need a patriotic costume. So that's our next mission. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the knight here as my lead character. You can switch costumes at will outside of battle. And outside of battle, pretty much every costume has some sort of special ability or whatnot. The knight's special ability is to put that shield overhead to block anything that might be falling from above. And in that case, there was that water that was cascading down over that entrance to the sewer. And we didn't want to deal with that. So we use a shield to block ourselves from it, and we move on through. All right. But then, of course, we switch right back to the robot costume because its ability outside of battle is rocket skates. And rocket skates are awesome because they allow us to move incredibly fast compared to what we would be doing otherwise. All right. So now that we're level 2, we're going to start doing a little more damage. We're really going to want to pick on these enemies that have the lower HP amounts because we'll be able to kill them more quickly. The less turns we have to sit through, the better. Go. So now it actually, I think, would be a decent time to explain some of the story that we missed. So the significance of picking the character at the beginning of the game, as far as gameplay goes, there's no difference at all. But whichever sibling you pick, that's the one that gets the robot costume, and the other one gets the candy corn costume. Well, when you go trick-or-treating at that second house in the very beginning, you get met at the door by these evil goblins called Grubbins that are invading this neighborhood and trying to steal as much candy as possible. So when the Grubbin there sees this gigantic candy corn, he says, "Oh my goodness, I just hit the jackpot. I'm totally getting a raise for sure by getting this candy. So I'm going to take it, and I'm going to show my boss how good I am." And so your brother or your sibling gets stolen, and that's bad enough. But then when you go out to try to... Oh, no, that's also bad. Let's see if I can survive this. I think I should be good. Because, again, these are pretty strong attacks, plus the residuals. Please kill. Yes. Okay.
Hey, we have a $20 donation from Drake Lake. I was too busy trick-or-treating to accidentally snipe the bid war this time. Wish you the best, Vonnie. Good luck to everyone running and working this marathon.
Thank you, Drake. All right, so now we have the Statue of Liberty costume. So that is patriotic enough, to be let into the party. So we do that, and oh wait, but why is Everett the Statue of Liberty? I don't want that. Okay, so we needed to get that cherry, but we had to use a shield overhead because there are squirrels in that tree that throw acorns at you and repel you. So you need to protect yourself in order to get that cherry. All right, get some candy. And we got a couple more battles here. So anyway, so after you are confronted with the prospect of being in charge and right away your sibling gets abducted, you're like, oh crap, how can this get any worse? Well, you go out into the street and you come face to face with this mysterious sorceress named Dorsilla, who is apparently the one kind of in charge of everything that's going on here with this whole candy stealing operation. The reason why we had to go and retrieve the parts for our costume, well, I didn't do the special, that was dumb, is because Dorsilla kind of wraps you up in this little kind of cyclone and your parts go flying. So that's why you have to go get them back. So, yes. There we go. Okay, don't need to do a crit here, obviously. But we did anyway because it just happened to be X. So cool. There's another little... Now, you see that text box that's above Everett talking about battle stamps. We're going to be doing some stuff with battle stamps pretty soon here, and this is what we needed the money for. So I'll show you what that's all about when we get to it. But like I said, in every section of the game, you have to trick or treat at every place where you can. Oh, good. Buffed the healer, which is perfect. It's just an attack buff. It doesn't make their heals any stronger, which is really convenient. That would be annoying if it did that, but it doesn't. Don't need a crit here. Mash through it. Got it anyway. Cool. Okay. You got an attack buff, but that's going to be too little too late. Fire's going to do 7 HP left. Whatever. And done. Okay. Oh, that's right. That's the last house over here. I got to hit this one here. This is Candy. And then we go into the park where we're going to meet our friend Sadie. Sadie is essentially the shopkeeper of the game, and she sells the battle stamps. So I'm going to buy that one, and we're going to equip that, and we're good. Okay. So the battle stamp that I bought and equipped on Ren, the robot, is called the Bloodshot Eyeball, and what that does is it raises your damage done by critical hits. The battle stamp that I put on Everett, who is the knight, is something called Pumpkin Guts, and you're going to see that on display here, where it essentially does splash damage to all of the enemies that aren't targeted by your attack. So you saw I targeted that Grubbin, and the other one died because it took side damage from the Pumpkin Guts. This is going to help us to clean up battles really, really easily and make things faster. Okay, so I skipped a cutscene there where there was this big gate that opened. That gate does not open until you have trick-or-treated at every place in the particular section. So these Grubbins that I'm dodging here, these are essentially mobs. These are encounters that I could get into, but I don't want to do that. Instead, I want to talk to this Scarecrow, who is going to give me a pumpkin costume pattern as well as part for it. That is going to come into play near the end of the game. But first we have our boss fight here. This is Bojan. He's the foreman of these Grubbins here that have been stealing all this candy. And he has a megaphone that summons enemies. We need to get rid of this megaphone ASAP. So we're going to focus on that for now. The first thing he's going to do is he's going to summon a healer, which is kind of irritating. And we don't want to... he attacked. That's beautiful. Okay, good. If it heals the megaphone twice, this fight goes a little pear-shaped. But the fact that it chose to attack right off the bat is excellent news for us. It's probably going to heal it now, but that's fine, because we're going to hit it with some rockets. We're going to hit it with a regular attack as well to... Okay, there it goes. It's destroyed. What are you going to do here? I don't like that. I actually don't like that at all. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and just do some attacks on Bojan. Might as well soften him up a little bit. What are you going to do here? Heal yourself. Interesting. Oops,
I'm going to read a $5 donation from
not right now, please.
Steven. Sorry?
I'm in the middle of a boss battle.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, let me know if you're going to come in with the donation otherwise.
I apologize.
Yeah. All right. This is kind of a nail-biter, actually. That shield is really not making things easy, but now it's gone, so that's good. Okay, so Bojan's out. And oh, that's right. For this boss battle, you don't need to kill the side. I almost always do, just because it makes it a lot faster. But in that case, it just worked out that it did. That's really rare. All right. So what happened here is that we hopped on the bus that Bojan tried to use to escape, and it took us over here to the mall. We're going through an area that I call Dark Mall to get into the actual mall area. All right, now is when we're going to start to encounter these free-floating mobs as opposed to the ones in Trick or Treats. And if you walk up behind the mob and hit them with your pail, then you get what I like to call initiative, where all of the enemies begin the battle with a little bit of damage already done to them. This is actually critical in some places, but in all cases, if you can get it, it's nice. Just nice and convenient to have a little damage on it. Okay, Code. If you have donations, now's a good time.
Yeah, we do have that one donation from Pendle Steven, $5. He says, Costume Quest on Halloween. If this was wrestling, then this is awesome. This is awesome. There we go.
Hell yeah. Very good.
Heck
Yes.
yeah.
I feel like it was rather deliberate that this run was put at the end of Halloween. I don't know. Maybe I'm just giving the Valks too much credit. Who knows?
Well, we had to do it.
They had to do it. Yep. All right. So we're going to talk to everybody in here because they're going to give us parts to a Space Warrior costume. Do a little loop-de-loop around that guy to get the initiative. We see this medic here, which is one of the healers. Again, that's always our first target. Okay. Good to know, Leggy. All right. The nice thing about the healers is that, especially if the healer takes a bunch of damage, it will always heal itself as its move. The reason why I didn't necessarily get that in the fight with Bojan was because by the time that healer took its first action, it had full HP, as opposed to me having an opportunity to soften it up like I would normally always do in a normal battle. So, okay, now you're going to see the guts at work here again. We're going to go ahead and attack this guy. It's not going to kill, but we're going to target this same one that has 31 HP, and you'll notice that, boom, boom, both of them die. Pumpkin guts coming through as it is wont to do. All right, that's the second part for the costume. We're going to come here. We're going to circle around. Nope. Okay, I pulled that in a little tight, which, I mean, again, this is not a problem. Just nice to have a little damage already done. Speeds up the battle a little bit, potentially, so. Oh, one thing I didn't explain about the special attack that the robot does is that it does damage to all enemies, but it does have a primary target that that takes heavier damage than the other. So with the other one only having about like 15 or so HP, we definitely want to target the enemy that has more HP so that more damage can be applied to it. Okay, that's going to take out Everett. That's fine. You've probably noticed that between battles you get full heals / revives, so characters dying and stuff like that is not a problem. Alright, so now we get the Space Warrior costume, which is going to be useful on several fronts. One of them is going to be right here to use its ability outside of battle, which is this light sword. The light sword is, shoot, and I unfortunately got too close there. And, oh, come on. Please switch. Okay, yeah, thanks. The light sword will light up these dark areas, which is good because Everett is terrified of the dark and refuses to go into those areas without proper lighting. So it is required there. We skip those two mobs. We don't need them. We have to get, oh no, shoot. I meant to switch. Oh, that's not good. Okay. Actually, you know what? That's fine. We're going to go ahead and run from battle. Running from battles is guaranteed. You can even run from the final boss. Hello? No! Come on! Oh, I didn't move. That was my problem. All right, hold on a second. Let me get this set up. I'm goofing here. I apologize. That's what I wanted. Okay. I wanted Everett to have the robot costume. Here we go. Okay. Robot Costume does a little more damage and has a much better super than the Knight does. The Knight's super isn't actually an attack, it's a defensive move, which is going to be really, really important for a particular... Oh, shoot, I was smashing there, that was dumb. It's going to be really important for a boss fight coming up, but for regular battles, it's just not used. It's only used in like an absolute panic situation, and we hope to not find ourselves in it. Alright, now, the Space Warrior super is this Meteor Strike, which is much like this Missile Barrage, only it does much heavier damage to its primary target and much less damage to the secondary. Or to the non-targeted enemies, I guess is the best way of putting it. Alright, now we want to scoot through here and hit with the bucket. Cool. Alright. Again, we see a healer. We must destroy the healer. Down to 7 HP. It's definitely going to heal itself. But that's okay, because let's see here. Will it be in Guts range after this attack? Yes, it will! 4 is definitely a low enough number that the damage from those pumpkin guts will take it out. So, we can allocate our damage dealing to enemies that actually have HP left, so that we can maximize and be most efficient with the damage that we're doing. Strike! That was going to be certain death for that enemy. We should take this out in the next 2 hits, and then we're good. Now, this next battle that we're going to be getting into is honestly one of the most dangerous non-boss battles in the entire game. So getting that initiative is actually going to be pretty important. I'm going to wait for you to turn around. There we go. All right. So in this battle, we have a healer and 2 mages. If I get bad RNG with mages buffing and attacking and doing all of this stuff, I can get wasted pretty easily in this fight. So let's see if that happens. So far, so good. You can heal yourself, as the prophecies foretold. You are going to buff that guy. Okay. That could be scary if ever it gets hit. That is definitely Guts range. Good. You're going to buff instead. Okay. Please do not hit Everett. Ah, great. And there goes Everett. Okay, this should be fine because I'm obviously going to take a hit here. But a crit here will kill. But, I mean, I did not have a lot of room to spare on that fight. Alright, that does it for Dark Maul. Now we're into the actual Maul itself. First order of business is to come over here and go into the arcade, where we are going to talk to these guys here. But we're going to fight Bojan again. That's actually the second of 3 battles we have with him. We're actually going to take out the guardsman, because like I was talking about before, in these Bojan battles, it's not enough to just kill Bojan himself. You have to kill everyone in the battle, and considering that the guardsman has less HP, but basically does the same amount of damage as Bojan, there's no reason to leave it sitting around, so we get rid of it more quickly. There we go. I want you to stop picking on Everett, please. Hopefully we get some good damage here. I think we'll be fine, even if Everett does get attacked here. Yeah, I mean, 1 hit from Ren might actually... Okay. A crit here from Ren will probably kill. Yeah, that's cool. Alright. So, make a slight detour here to pick up a part for a costume that we're going to need much later. Sparkly fabric. What do you think that's for? But what we really need is a third party member. This is Lucy. And she's going to join the party, and we like Lucy. Oops, no. We are going to come here to the battle stamps. Lucy's going to get the pumpkin guts, and then Everett's going to get the Fang of the Wolf. And what the Fang of the Wolf does is just give you a slight damage boost, just generally speaking. It was one of the ones. It was the third one that I bought there from Sadie in the very beginning. All right, we want to take out this Warlock here because we do not want this guy buffing anyone. That is just not a thing we feel like dealing with. So there we go. Alright. Now the fact that we have 3 characters now, we can do 3 attacks, and now the damage is spread out a lot more from enemies, it's going to make the rest of this section just so much easier. When I first played this casually through, when I was doing the mall, the arcade was the last place that I went to. So I went through this entire section of the game with just 2 characters when I should have had 3. And it definitely made it more challenging than it needed to be. Yes, it did. Yo, Tempest, what's up? Yes, indeed. Very appropriate for tonight. Doing a Halloween game on Halloween night. Alright. And, oh, 2 HP left. Alright, we just gotta stand one more attack. Obviously don't need a crit here. We're just gonna bonk that, and here we go. Alright, that's it for Bojan. Now we've activated this rail car, which is going to get us through the mall a whole lot faster. No! Oh! Dang it, I meant to talk to him. Alright, I have to go all the way back through here. That sucks. I mean, obviously you press A to talk to people, but you also press A to activate the cart. And I just didn't walk out far enough. So this should take us back to him. Yes, okay, good. He gives us a costume part that we absolutely need. There we go. That's what I needed. Now we can go into it. All right. All right, now we want to get out here. And now we start trick-or-treating in the mall. So, yeah. A lot of these battles are kind of drawn out because the enemies here have a lot more HP, and it just takes a while. So, Code, this would be a good time to hop on in if you have any donations, anything to plug or anything like that. I'll give you a minute here.
We do actually have a $5 donation from Tempest Mask 1000. Happy Halloween Speedrun Ragnarok. I figured this was due before the night shifts into the AM hours. After all, with a game like Costume Quest, clearly inspired by Notopia and run by Vani, what more could you ask for? As I fade to the depths of Eve, heed this lore. Quoth the boss, nevermore.
Very nice. Thank you, Tempest.
Thank you very much. We have all of this money going into a very good cause, which is Take This. Take This reaches out to gaming companies to help them promote healthier and more productive work environments and ensure that they have methods in place for helping employees who suffer from mental illness. You can find out more by typing !donate or !take this in the chat. Well, actually, not the !take this. It's takethis.org. Visit that.
Yes. All right. So, you saw after I did that first trick or treat there, I went and talked to all those kids that were dressed like ninjas, and what they did is they said, "Hey, you need to, if you want to be a tough, cool ninja like us, you need to prove your worth. We need you to slay some monsters and give us their horns as kind of trophies for your bravery." And so this first mob here is the first of 3 that we need to defeat in order to get the horns. And you'll see what that's all. Oh no, and you're gonna die. That's very trolly. I don't get to do the Space Warrior super, so this battle might go on for another round. It certainly will. The 32 is not gonna be at 25. Close, but not enough. Well, that stinks. And okay. This is a battle here. Again, it's got a healer and a mage, so we do need to tread lightly here. Thankfully, having the 3 characters gives us a whole lot more room for error, as opposed to only having the 2, which is good. So I noticed that last donation got us over 2,500, which is a quarter of the way to the goal for what
Yes, it did.
the RPG Valkyries are looking to do here for Speedrun Ragnarok, so that is hype. Just hitting enemies with these 2 supers, and the rate at which the damage increases from these supers as we level up is... Oh, whoops, no, that's right. There, oh, shoot, darn it, that wrong term, man, I didn't get the initiative. Which, again, is not a problem, but just a minor inconvenience. But yeah, like I was saying, the increase in damage for the supers as you level up is pretty high, so we are going to, even with enemies that have more HP than these, we are going to lay waste to them very quickly by way of the robot and Space Warrior super attacks. It's like here, this will be a good, this will kind of be a good demonstration. All right, so that first enemy, which we're going to start targeting now, is 272 HP at the beginning of this next round here. All right, let's see how much we can chew through here. So, hit him with those rockets. Hit him with a meteor. And hit him with that attack. And he's dead. Now, for comparison, the first boss that we fought, Bojan, has 250 HP. So basically, we would have killed Bojan in 1 round with where we're at, and we're only at level 5. So this gets sillier as the game progresses. We're going to get all the way up to level 8. The max level that you can get to is 10. Doing that requires fighting pretty much every optional mob in the game, and that is very time-consuming. As nice as that would be for a final boss, which can be very trolly, we will not be getting up to level 10. That would just be way too time-consuming. So we settle for level 8. In the any percent run, though, you do it at even lower levels, and I think this would probably be a good time to talk about that. The work that has been put into this speedrun by the Costume Quest community has honestly been really, really awesome to see. There is it is a fairly small but very passionate and very active speedrunning community for this game. Folks like Bob Loves Cheese, Harsh, Deathmaster, Trillion. Oh, I didn't put it there. Oh my God, the name of the world record holder. It's like Pendant or Pensant. Shoot, I feel really stupid for not remembering it exactly, especially because they're the world record holder for any percent. But anyway, so up until about a few months ago, the world record for this game was like it was like 113, 114, something like that. Now the any percent world record is like 53 minutes. They have found a ton of ways to just skip entire sections of the game, which is great. So yeah, that's cool. So what we did here was we turned in those 3 horns, and they said, wow, you guys are really tough. Here's the pattern for a ninja costume. We get the ninja costume. We will use it for like about 3 seconds in this run. Unfortunately, it's not terribly active in Penance Arcana. Thank you. That's the one. I appreciate you looking that up. We use the ninja costume in one specific spot for its ability outside of battle, and that is it. And I'll be sure to let you know when that comes out. So, ninja fans, unfortunately, you don't get a whole lot of ninja action in this game, but worry not. You essentially get a shout out a little later on. Costume Quest community, yes.
So if the ninja costume only gets like 3 seconds, then for parody, the pirate costume only gets 3 seconds too, right? Because you got to have a balance.
There is no pirate costume in this game. I believe there's a pirate costume in Costume Quest 2.
Well, clearly that shows where the devs' priorities lie.
Right. Yes. Alrighty. 2 mages here and an enemy that has 300 HP. Not quite what I would call a good time. Especially if the buffs here get a little squirrely. Okay. Who are you buffing? Oh boy, that's not fun. Well, we're taking out one of the mages here for sure. And we're taking them out specifically with the knight, because the knight has the least attack power of the 3 enemies. And with that being so low, we wanted to use the enemies that have the higher attack power, or the characters that have the higher attack power, on the enemies that have more HP, so we can maximize the amount of damage that we're doing. But it looks like I'm going to go ahead and waste this guy in this round, so don't have to worry about getting into any sticky situations here. Or maybe not. He will survive with 1 HP. Awesome. Yeah. Whoops. For some reason, I didn't block that attack, and it did 106 damage. That's bad. But good that we finished him. All right. Oh, shoot. It came back, and unfortunately, we didn't get the initiative. And as you can see here, we would really like to do it because it's another one of these healer and 2 mage fights, which I'm not a fan of. So hopefully they don't mess with me too much. Initiative wasn't helping me there. Buffing the healer is exactly what we want to see. Okay. Just ate my input, I guess. If I do have to lose a character, losing Lucy is fine. She's the most expendable. And there she goes. Bye-bye, Lucy. Rip. We're going to have to deal with one more attack, but obviously with both these characters at full HP, because they were just picking on Lucy, we're fine. I might not even need a crit here. I don't. Cool. There's another level up. Alright, we get our candy here. And we're going to head back to the other side of the mall using the railway here. No, they are rather different games. I mean, here you collect costume parts and can, like, change into different things, but I guess that's where the similarities end. There are no relationships in this game. These are children, after all, so I think that's appropriate that we didn't have any mechanic like that. Although I say that, and then there's actually a little budding romance between 2 of the characters at the very end, which I won't spoil as far as the details go. But yeah, that's just kind of a cute little story thing as opposed to anything else. Hello? God, that... I wonder if I'm actually having a connection issue with my controller here. Yeah. I know you didn't. You're good. You're good. Let's see if Guts and Fire will clean this up. And that's a yes. Okay, good. Alright. Oh, definitely don't need a crit here. Good. Sweet. Okay. So, alright, this next section is actually kind of interesting. Well, first we got to do this trick-or-treat here. It is a battle. Well, I'll get to that next part. So, alright, not anything terribly interesting going on here. Code, if you have any, if you have anything you'd like to jump in here with, now is a good time.
Well, we don't have any new donations, but I do want to shout out that we do have bid war currently for the Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected Language Selection. English with a commanding lead right now, but first thing in the morning we'll be doing that one. Super Metroid Ascent has a very close bid war between saving or ditching the animals, 60 to 70 in favor of ditching, but if you want to get that out of the way. And then we've got plenty of options for Bard's Tale Trilogy, the various portraits, a lot of options wide open on all of these. So make sure you get those donations in, because those are all first thing in the morning runs.
Yeah, I know that save and kill the animals is always hotly contested, so get your money in for that. Okay, so I have to break this here and then fall down, and then I have to make sure that as I land on the chest, but if I walk too far out, I'll fall out of the mouth of the pumpkin, and you can't walk back in. So I'd have to go all the way back up to the top and fall down again, which is not fun. We're going to bust into here. We're going to talk to Sadie again. Sadie's going to give us that, and that, and that, and all I'm going to do is equip this, and we're good. Okay. So what I equipped here was called the Jawbone of the Wolf, which replaces the Fang of the Wolf that Everett was wearing, and it's going to give him an even higher attack boost. Okay. Now we're going to come down here. We're going to talk to Scarecrow Pumpkin again. He's going to give us another part of the pumpkin costume. Now we talk to this Carnival Barker here, who's going to tell us about a costume contest that's going on. Now, we want to win this costume contest, but first, we got to do some trick-or-treating. We're going to go ahead and just... These are the last two trick-or-treats of the section. But then when we're done with this, we've got a costume contest to win. Very important. This guy, because we'll actually take him out. I don't even need to do a super here. A regular attack is actually faster. Not by much, but it is by a little bit. Okay, so that cutscene means the gate's opening. But we need to talk to these folks here in the orange sweaters. These are the judges. Oh, by the way, spooky thing up there. Okay. The judges are going to tell us the kind of costumes that they want to see. I already know what I need to put on, but you still need to talk to them in order to make this work. And the only change we're going to make here is we are going to put Everett in the Statue of Liberty costume. And then we're going to enter the contest, and they're going to be like, whoa, you guys are awesome. And they're going to say, yep, okay, cool. Now here's the pattern for a unicorn costume. And those are the parts that we've been collecting throughout the mall. The unicorn costume is super awesome and is going to be used at the very end of the game on the final boss. So hold on to that one for a little bit as we get into what can be a very annoying boss fight here with a boss named Mextol. We're not there yet. We have to do 5 hits on this bottom henchman here, 5 critical hits. On this bottom henchman here in order to start that battle. Now, you notice I'm using the Statue of Liberty on Everett. This Statue of Liberty has A couple unique things about it. First of all, the style for doing crits is not pressing a button. It's actually doing circles on the left stick. You do enough circles in a short window of time, and that's what does the crit. There we go. Okay, there's the end of that cutscene. And here's Mextal. Okay, now let's see what Mextal's doing. Okay, so you see a character talking about, hey, I don't like what's going on with this guy here. I need some help. This is where we are going to use the Knight Super. The Knight Super is called, it's a something shield. Protective shield, let's call it. Mextal decided not to attack. What a bro. But when Mextal does attack, it's going to target Lucy, and when he uses that bulldozer attack, that bulldozer attack not only does a ton of damage, but it also stuns that character so that they don't act on their next turn, and we don't want that. So the protective shield prevents that from happening. Okay. Oh, wacky inflatable wavy arm tube man or whatever his name is. Yes, indeed. Having very much fun. Okay, good. That should be the end of the first phase. Yes. Okay, good. All right. So you saw Ren say, "Oh, quit staring at me." That's not good. But what is good is the super for the Statue of Liberty, which is the healing power of America. All right, so now we're going to Guardian Shield. That's what it's called. We're going to use a Guardian Shield now on Ren because the super attack for Mextal in his second phase is even more problematic because it targets. I mean, it has a primary target, but it will hit all characters. So you just have to be really careful with it. You have that special protection. You're good. Did it wear off? It did. Oh my goodness, what a troll. Okay, and I don't have it again because it's not enough turns yet. This could get interesting. Oh, there goes Ren. Okay, this could be a problem. I got really hosed by the enemy's battle script there. But fortunately, he's so close to death that it shouldn't be an issue. If that would have happened at the beginning of the phase, I probably would have been sweating. But I'm not too worried about it now. Yeah, one more hit. We're not dying here in this next attack. Yeah, because he's not going to do anything. And we're done. Alright, and that's Mextal done. We will see Mextal again. But anyway, so now we're in the third section of the game. And you see things are looking a bit different here. I'll kind of explain what's going on here. Okay. Alright, let me explain this, though. I'm talking to this kid down here. This little mini-game that's actually been in every section of the game, but we only want to do it here in the third section. It's called Hidden Kids. There's going to be 6 kids in costumes in hidden places all throughout the level. And if we find all 6, then our candy pail gets upgraded, which is an attack boost for all of our characters. But we need to talk to this guy here. He is from the big city, and he's always wanted to... he's had a dream of making it big, selling fries. So he came to this area to start his dream, but unfortunately, he has no customers. So he has given us this French fry costume to try to attract some customers, and we will do so with the power of the smell of golden French fries, which we're actually going to use first on these jerks who are guarding that treasure chest, which is holding all of our costumes. You notice we're in our street clothes. Well, Ren isn't, but the others are. And now we can open the chest, get all our stuff back. Yay! Okay, so much for the fry costume, at least for now. All right, you're a robot, you're a space warrior, you're a knight, and off we go. All right, so we need to help this dude get some customers, but first we got a couple things to do. The first thing we need to do is we need to collect Hidden Kid number 2. And then the next thing that we need to do is we need to do a whole bunch of trick-or-treating. So, I will toss it over to Code at this point, but before I do, let's get some donations in here. We are raising money for Take This. It's a really great cause. We've got a ton of great donations. Do you want to save or kill the animals for Super Metroid tomorrow? Come on, you've got to have an opinion on that. Get some money in there and keep my friend Code busy here. So Code, I'll hand it over to you for now.
Okay, yeah, well, we are still looking for some donations for all those incentives. Just to give everybody the heads up, we are going to be starting up again tomorrow morning, or actually this coming morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Eastern Daylight Time, with Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected, followed immediately by the Bard's Tale Trilogy, and Super Metroid Ascent, and then we've got a pretty good set from there on out. We've got a good Sonic block, Sonic Origins, Sonic Mania, and Sonic Adventure. A lot of really good stuff. But staying with the Xbox theme a little bit too, Panzer Dragoon Orta. Actually, that's a game I'm really looking forward to watching.
All right. So you see here, these enemies have 290, 300 HP. It's going to get closer to 400 with some of these enemies here. Having these costumes where the supers do a lot of damage is becoming even more and more critical. During this row of trick-or-treating here, we'll get our next level up. Oh my goodness! That is death for Ren. Very trolly. Not cool. Okay. Yeah, that's not going to kill this guy. This battle just got a lot longer than it needed to be. Oh, man. I wasn't paying attention to how much damage Ren was taking. Not that there's a whole lot I can do about it, but especially now that we have... we don't have any healers in our party. You'll notice there are no items or like magic for me to use. It's basically just attack or super. Those are your choices. So it makes the gameplay very simple. But as far as the speedrun goes, because remember I said before, the buttons that you have to press for crits and blocks and whatnot, it's completely random. So it's not like you can just have this completely routed out, timed out kind of button press map throughout the game. You have to be paying attention, especially to the blocks. You have to be paying attention to that. Press the wrong button there. Throughout the entire run. So in that regard, it does require a decent amount of concentration. But, you know, and another thing I will say about this speedrun is, for those of you that are looking to get maybe novices into speedrunning or RPGs, maybe looking to get, you know, your children into speedrunning or RPGs, this is a fantastic place to start. Because, especially for kids, because, you know, it's about kids, it's really cute, it's funny, and, you know, just... it's very aesthetically pleasing in a lot of ways. But also, as far as the speedrun goes, the speedrun is not... it's really not all... The glitchless speedrun, certainly. It's not terribly complicated. So, for those that might be a bit intimidated or daunted by a speedrun that's got a lot to memorize and is super long and has a lot of menuing and all that stuff, this doesn't really have any of that at all. So kind of a nice little way to dip your toe in the water of speedrunning. And I think that's cool. I love having games like this that exist for that very reason.
It really is.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So yeah. And then, of course, if you know, and what's nice too is that with the any percent development that's been going on, is that let's say you are speedrunning this and maybe you want to up the challenge a little bit. There is the any percent run. There is a 100% all quests run. So there definitely is more that you can do with this game. But as far as Glitchless goes, it's not that bad. All right, we're going to start to use this Fry costume to attract some customers here. But first, we got to get one thing from Sadie, which is that rotten egg stamp, which we will use a little later on. That is very, very important. But we're going to use the irresistible scent of French fries to bring this customer on over. Now, we are going to bring over a second customer, and this is easily my favorite NPC in the game. This is the princess. She is a big fan of French fries. In fact, she is such a fan of French fries that she declares that I'm going to eat French fries till I puke. One of my favorite lines in the game. I think is great. And now we have to attract our third customer, which is a girl here dressed as the devil. And she's going to come on over. And she loves French fries just as much as the princess. But she's a little more subdued about it. She comes over here and she just says, "Oh, rad, French fries." And with 3 customers, this fry seller is now completely ecstatic and overjoyed and gives us tickets to the carnival, which is how we get into the next section of the game. Without busting in using glitches like we do in the 90% run. Hidden kid number 3 is right here. And now we use our tickets, we get on in, and now we meet my favorite character in the game. This is Dorian. We'll skip the cutscene here, but I'll tell you a little bit more about what Dorian is about. Dorian is the brother of the evil sorceress Dorsilla. And Dorian is also the one who has been possessing those pumpkin scarecrows that we keep running into throughout the game. There was also a cutscene in the very beginning that involved a black cat that helped you out with something. Dorian was actually controlling, or Dorian was essentially channeling that cat as well. So Dorian's awesome. Dorian is a queer icon and just an all-around nice guy. But you're thinking, well, how nice can he really be if he is the brother of an evil sorceress? Well, here's the thing. Dorian hates his sister. He thinks that she's terrible, and she wants to see her stopped, and whatnot. But unfortunately, Dorian is terrified of his sister as well, and just doesn't have the intestinal fortitude to confront his sister himself. So instead, he's kind of using these kids by proxy, helping them out with things throughout the game in order to make sure that that Dorsilla gets taken out, because he has a lot of faith and belief in these children, and so he wants to do what he can to help out. So that's what he's all about, and he'll come into play later in the game. We'll definitely see him later. We love Dorian. All right, got to swing up here to pick up a pretty important costume part. And Dorian, yes, is a musical mode. We do not see Dorian's cousin Mixolydian in this game, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Phrygian
no, they're
is
too
DLC.
busy hanging out in Mother 3.
One more time?
They're too busy hanging out in Mother 3.
Yes. Alrighty, so as we have talked about all throughout this game, when you see a healer, get rid of it immediately. And then the second target to prioritize are these mages, because they can do buffs. Buffs are bad. Should kill it. So that buff was for naught. Couple supers here, and this fight's over. Go. All right. 2 more trick or treats here, and then we've got. There's actually a pretty amusing cutscene here, which of course we will skip. But I'm actually going to explain. I'll explain it during the next fight. What's happening here? get us into good range so that the splash damage will take out that assassin. We can focus on the bombardier with all our supers and lay waste to it. Yeah, let's see how much damage does this do. 178. That's a lot. That was like half its HP. Okay, here we go. So, after I'm done with this battle here, I'm going to go into the very center of this carnival here to engage in a cutscene where there's a gentleman there named Orzo, and he is a human cannonball. And we want to use his cannon because in front of the cannon is a Ferris wheel that is stuck, and there are a bunch of kids on top of it that are being terrorized by these monsters. And so we want to get up to the Ferris wheel, to the top of the Ferris wheel, to fight off these monsters and rescue the kids. The only problem is that the Ferris wheel is broken, so we can't just turn it and do what we need to do. So we want to use the cannon to get ourselves up there. But Orzo doesn't want the kids to do that. So instead, we will use a special technique to get around Orzo and do what we want to do anyway. And I'll bet you can guess what it is that we are going to do. That's right. We are going to Ninja Sneak. We're going to sneak right around him and go that again. And there we go. And that's it. So for all of you Ninja fans, that was your shout out. So now we're on top of a Ferris wheel. You just have to take my word for it. You'll see it at the very end, after the fight is over. I was talking before about how this game is very cute and charming and whatnot, and I mean, from what you can see, it certainly is. But even a lot of the dialogue in this game is very, very funny. I encourage you to get and play this game, even if you don't feel like speedrunning it. It does not take very long to play through. It's definitely a shorter RPG. And it's not terribly expensive on things like Steam and whatnot. But if you don't feel like playing it and you want to see some of the dialogue, I do encourage you to check out my run of this that I did at RPG Limit Break earlier this year, where I ran a very arbitrary category that I called Cute Scene %, where I deliberately watched a lot of the funnier and more charming cutscenes. You see we were on top of the Ferris wheel there. So there's the cannon that we used. Two more trick-or-treats, and then we are done with all of them in this section. And we're actually getting fairly close. Oh, I didn't mean to attack you. We're actually getting fairly close to the end of the game. Yeah, we're over an hour in. A decent glitchless run is usually right around 120. This will probably be longer because I goofed on a couple of sections. But if we get good RNG on the final boss is really, then maybe we can get something right around there. That's what I'm looking for. Dying to the final boss is a somewhat common thing, so if it happens to me here, I will be upset but not shocked. Alright, one more trick-or-treat. This is just candy. And then you see there's that gate cutscene here. Got to switch to the Space Warrior to cut through this darkness. Back to here. Hidden Kid number 5 is right there. Gotta cut through some darkness again here. Pick up another really important costume part. This is Black Cloth. You'll see what this is in a minute. But first we're going to come over here. We're going to intentionally oh, he turned around right at the last second. That's annoying. We fight this mob here on purpose. It's easily avoidable. But the reason we do it is something that I referred to much earlier in the run, which is that experience routing. We get a decent amount of experience from this, and you'll notice there's only 2 enemies in this combat, which we haven't seen that for, we haven't seen that for quite some time. So it definitely makes this battle a little faster. and it allows us to it allows us to essentially get up to level 8 right before we get to the final bosses. The timing of it is perfect. Alright, so up to the mysterious scarecrow here, which we already know is Dorian, but he gives us the final piece for the pumpkin costume. This is the second one that we will be using at the end game. This kid in the banana costume standing right out in the open, that's hidden kid number 6. There's our bucket upgrade. We like that, and then we gotta swing into here, and this gives us the last piece to the vampire costume, which is the third costume that we will be using in the final boss section. So we have all of our endgame gear now. Now we get to do the maze. What's going to happen here is we're going to talk to this Grubbin, and he says, hey, can you help us? And we're like, no, you guys suck. You've been terrorizing us this whole time. And he's like, wait. Dorcilla's been really mean to us. We don't like her. We will help you take her out. Oh, dang it. Okay. I didn't want to get caught by this guy, but it's okay because all I have to do is just run away. So really it just cost me only like 10 seconds. In a PB attempt, this is annoying, but for what we're doing here, oh god, it's not a problem at all. So what we do is we need to rescue all of these Grubbins from this maze here, and they're going to give us pieces to a Grubbin costume, which we will need to use to sneak past a guard. Thought I was going to sneak past this guy. To sneak past a guard so that we can get to where the final bosses are hanging out. Whoops, I went the wrong way. I got confused by that battle. Alright. This is part number 2. And this final section of the maze here. Nope, wrong way. Alright, so now we are a Grubbin. It's actually funny dialogue there where Everett says, oh no, it's a monster! And we're like, dude, it's me. Just chill. So this is the guard we need to get past. I have to wait until right about here to switch my costume. If I do it any earlier, then the guard will see that I am not a Grubbin, and we will get into an encounter that we have to finish. But right now is an opportunity to kind of just catch your breath because I can't skip this cutscene here. There's no buttons I can press, anything like that. This is our second confrontation with Mextel. This one is much, much easier than the first one. He only has one phase. He's only got 1,000 HP. We're probably going to get this done in 3 rounds. Unless I get some trolley damage rolls, which is pretty rare, honestly. Watch this. Now that I've said it, it's going to happen. Or if I miss some crits, obviously that... But that's not trolley. That's just me being a doofus. Good. First round. Yeah, this is all he does, is just throw rocks. He doesn't have those special attacks where you have to use the shield to protect anyone. Nothing like that. Alright, good. Just supers from here on out, and by the end of this round, he should be dead. And the fire will clean it up, and he's done. And you'll notice right here, level 8. That's what we were looking for. Alright. So now comes actually one of the trickier parts of the movement here is getting lined up with these ramps. Good. Good. Okay, go. Alright, now, before we get up here, we got to get our final costumes on. So, Ren is going to be the pumpkin. Everett is going to be the unicorn. Lucy is going to be the vampire, and we got to switch one battle stamp here. This is where we need that rotten egg. We're going to put that on Lucy. Oh, no, 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 no. What just happened? That's not what I wanted. I want that. I want that. And I want that. Okay, cool, cool. All right. Press the wrong button there. Okay, so here's Dorsilla. Dorsilla, there's a ton of RNG with this fight, and I'll kind of explain it as it goes. And I'll explain what all the characters do as far as their supers and everything like that as they come up. But let's see what Dorsilla does here on the first turn. Dorsilla is going... Oh, perfect. Okay. So Dorsilla is charging up here. This is great because when Dorsilla is charging, she's not attacking, and we like that. But this is why we needed that rotten egg, is that in her second full round of charging, we need to interrupt what she's doing. But first we're going to use All Hallows Eve, which is the special for the pumpkin, which does about 400 damage, and we like that. So, yeah. Oh, that was the wrong button. But here, we want to use this rotten egg, which normally stuns enemies, but in this case, it breaks her concentration, and it stops her from using what is otherwise a really devastating attack. So, that's good. Dorsilla is playing nice so far, and I'm sure that will change shortly. Charge up another attack, that'd be awesome. Oh, okay. I'll take regular attacks. Regular attacks aren't a big deal, as long as you're just doing them one at a time. This is a great start, honestly. Oh my goodness. Dorsilla's given me absolutely wonderful RNG so far. This is great. Oh, now what are you doing? Ah, this is what we don't want to see, which is Dorsilla splitting into her her copies. Okay. We need to find out which one is the real Dorsilla. It is the first one. Okay. What we're going to do then is we're going to intentionally kill one of the images, not two of them. Because if you do, then if you kill them both, then she can bring them back, and we don't want that. But killing one of them makes us a little safer, and honestly, it makes it a little faster, too. Okay, can't use... Oh, okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. Alright, so we're going to get you... We're going to use the Vampire Special right now, which is called There's a Bat in My Hair. There's a Bat in My Hair does damage to all enemies, and it heals your party. And the second part of that is, honestly, probably the more important one. Ah, she's charging up. Love to see it. Okay, now she's going to eat a special here. Hit her with an attack from Lucy. I don't need to interrupt her yet. I will need to interrupt her next round. There we go. Almost dead. I don't need to kill the copy. Once I kill the real Dorsilla, battle's over. And that is not going to be on this hit. It will be on the next one. I think I even had a super there. I don't need it. You're done, and so is the battle. Okay. Very good. Okay. So that's Dorsilla dead. All right. Now, before we talk to her again, we have a couple things that we need to change up here. We need to give this to Ren. We need to give this to Everett. And we need to give this to Lucy. Okay. Now, I'll explain what those battle stamps are in a second. But here is the final battle. This is Big Bones. He's actually the mastermind of everything that's been going on here. And Big Bones can be a real fat jerk. So we are going to try to make sure that he doesn't totally destroy us. Now, his attacks do damage to everyone. His normal attacks do damage to everyone. But they have a primary target that takes the most damage. We actually don't want that to be Lucy. The reason why is because the battle stamps that I have on both Ren and Everett are essentially like passive regen effects, where they're going to get HP back at the end of every round. And we want to have the primary damage go to them so that they can kind of just recover it on their own. Alright. Super attack here. Another one on Lucy. I think I'm just gonna kind of roll with this and see how it goes. Eventually, he's going to do an unblockable attack that's a single target, but it usually does about like 2/3 of. And who takes it? Oh, Ren. Okay. All right. So we're gonna use Lucy's heal now because Ren is definitely our main damage dealer, and we don't want to lose her. We'll use There's a Bat in My Hair. We'll get this back eventually, which is good. I believe I got the super here, and I do. Things are going okay so far. Nothing has gone sideways. But things are going to get real fast. And when that happens, I don't want to be in a compromised position. And that things get real as soon as Big Bones drops below 1200 HP. He immediately shifts into his second phase, where he gets way stronger. Okay, that is a problem. I should have a heal with, I do. Okay, good. This heal is going to help me out, especially with Everett. It is imperative that Everett does not die. Oh, boy. This is kind of scary. So here comes the second phase right here. Okay, let's see what happens here. Okay. Yeah. Alright, so now we're going to get to see the Unicorn Special. The Unicorn Special is both healing and reviving. And the power of gay magic compels you to come back to life and to take your turn. Because it would normally be Lucy's turn after Everett's, so even though Lucy was dead at the beginning of the round, still gets to take a turn. I really hope I have a heal with Lucy here. Otherwise, I could be in trouble. I think I do. I do, thank goodness. Okay. Alright. I should be able to scrape by here. Okay, Lucy's dead. We are just going to have to roll with that. Alright. As long as a character doesn't die here, which they don't, we're set. Okay. 2 more hits on Big Bones, and it will die. Time is going to be at the end of his death cutscene, which is actually right here. Roar, roar, oh no, kids, you've defeated me. I'm going to be pulled back down into the depths from where I came, and that is time. And there we go.
Well done.
There you go. So here's the ending cutscene. You see Dorian is driving the bus that Bojan was using to steal the candy, and they're giving it back to all the kids in this village that we were in with the carnival and whatnot. And Dorian is going to drive them back to the neighborhood that they are from. so that they can go home and they can actually enjoy Halloween night as opposed to having to fight off all these scary, drooly, thievy, evil monsters. So here we are back in Reynold and Ren's house. And remember in the beginning, Mom wanted the kids to make friends? Well, she got her wish, and she is incredibly delighted about this, so much so that she has spoken to Lucy and Everett's parents, and they have given their permission to have those kids spend the night. So they're going to sit here and pool all of their candy and do kind of a little draft here. But before you can do that, there's one important thing that needs to happen before you can do this. And that is, of course, paying the dad tax, where he gets to just take candy as he pleases because he's a dad, and that's just how that works. All right. Mom and Dad, super happy, mission accomplished, time to exchange some candy. So they have a cute little... Oh, by the way, look at Lucy. I'm sorry, not Lucy. Ren there. This is a perfect shot of that cute bat barrette that she's got in her hair with a big smile on its face. Absolutely awesome. There's one cool thing in this cutscene that's going to happen after the shot leaves the house. As they talk about their favorite candy, what they do and they don't like. You see that black cat that's walking around in the gutter? That's Dorian. He has decided to assume cat form and watch over these kids that helped him defeat his sister and save the day. And then, of course, there's this very cute piece of dialogue here at the end. I kind of alluded to it before. "I can't wait forever, babe." And Everett says, "Did you just call me babe?" And that's how it ends. So they make a little connection there. And the really cool thing here is in these credits, you're going to see all these photos coming up. These are pictures of the devs when they were kids and the Halloween costumes that they wore, which I think is a really cool touch. So you see Elliot there is probably the inspiration for the robot costume that was used in the game. I just think that's super cool too. There's just so much cool stuff about this game that just makes it so much fun to play and speedrun and show off and everything like that. Oh, I see my time was a 1:20. I'm actually really glad that I got that, considering how sloppy the beginning of the run was. So to clutch out a 1:20 there is actually pretty good. I am happy about that. So yay. All right, cool. Well, that's going to do it for me here on Costume Quest, and that's going to do it for the RPG Valkyries and Speedrun Ragnarok for tonight. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. I'm going to be doing this run again in about 2 weeks for Fastest First. So if you want to check out more Costume Quest action. Oh, I love the dog dressed like a Moogle. You got to love that. Look at Truman dressed like a Moogle. Anyway. So if you want to see more of that, you'll see that there. But if you want to see more of Speedrun Ragnarok, then all you got to do is wait until tomorrow morning, because this is just, day 3 of the marathon, and there's plenty more going on.
Yeah, this was
Saturday.
day 3, yeah.
It is the end of day 3, so there's plenty more left. So I'm actually going to be back tomorrow night doing some hosting, so you will hear me at least more on some Speed Ragnarok later on. But like I said, that's going to do it for me. Code, why don't you go ahead and take us out?
Well, first, before we do that, thank you very much for the run. Where can we find you on social media or Twitch or wherever?
You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Vonnie_Von, just like you see my name there. I'm also on Twitter at Vonnie_Von5 if you'd like to follow me there. I usually tweet out before I go live or have events or things like this, so good way to keep up with what I'm doing there. And hope to see you all around.
Okay, well, thank you very much. It's been a great day here and a wonderful spooky night for us for Speedrun Ragnarok 2023. But it is, as we said, the end of day 3. We will be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, which is about 9 hours from now. So everybody get some sleep, everybody relax, and we will see you all then for Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected. So again, thank you very much. Once again, my name is Code Indigo. You can find me at Code Indigo on Twitch. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful night.